everybody? I'm here today to talk to you about 7 bad turning techniques to avoid while driving. If you're driving a car and you're making right and left turns, which I'm assuming that you are, because we all make these turns all the time when we're driving on a daily basis, you gotta avoid doing these things. These are horrible techniques. They should be avoided at all costs. Let's get right into the video. Number 1 is starting in the wrong position. When you are making a turn, whether it's right or left, you should be starting in the middle of your driving area. Whether that is a dedicated lane with lane lines, or whether you're just driving on a street, a side street without lane lines, and you have sort of a portion of the street that you should be driving on, okay? You gotta start in the middle of your driving area. Super important. The better that you start, the better that you'll finish, and the easier that it will be to perfect your turning radius. So starting in the wrong position is one of the worst things that you can do. Number 2, not signaling. Check this out. Boom. Check this out again. Boom. That's as easy as it is to signal. It is so easy. And when you signal, you let other drivers know a multitude of things. Firstly, you let them know which direction that you're turning. Secondly, you let them know that you're going to be moving the car towards the right or towards the left. Thirdly, you let them know that you're going to be slowing down. If you're driving and you're making a turn without a stop sign, by signaling, you let the driver know that you're slowing down, so you know, because you're going to be turning, you're slowing down. I encounter at least probably 100 people a day that I see specifically that do not signal when they're turning or switching lanes. It takes a second. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. Don't be lazy, because lazy people don't signal, okay? Work hard. It's not even working hard, just turn it on. It's just like anti-laziness. That's all that it is. Number 3 is not doing your safety checks. Before you turn right or left, you have to check your rear view mirror. You have to check your side mirror, either right or left, depending on which way you're turning, and your side blind spot, either right or left, depending on which way you're turning, okay? You need to do those safety checks in order to safely turn. I've seen so many accidents and near accidents constantly because people don't do the right safety checks. They almost turn into someone, and it's unbelievably dangerous. Just do your safety checks. It takes a moment and it can save someone's life. So just do the safety checks. Not doing them is a horrible technique that too many people oftentimes partake in, okay? Number 4 is turning too wide or too sharp. So when you turn, you have a certain turning radius, and turning too wide and too sharp can be caused by starting in the wrong position, ending in the wrong position, or turning the steering wheel too much. Now, starting in the right position is something that's pretty simple to do. You make sure you're centered in your driving area. Turning the steering wheel will take a good amount of practice, but once you practice it, you'll be great at it. And if you start in the right position and you turn the steering wheel the right amount, you're automatically going to end in the right position as well. So ending in the wrong position is a byproduct of either not turning the steering wheel enough, or turning it too much, or starting too far to the right, or starting too far to the left. So basically, you know, turning too wide or too sharp just takes practice to avoid doing that. Go into an empty parking lot, make right-hand turns and left-hand turns over and over again, and you'll get better and better until you don't make the same mistake. Number 5 is not looking ahead in the turn. When you're driving, you gotta look where you want the car to go. It's like riding a bike. You gotta look where you want the bike to go. My dad and mom always told me when I was learning to ride a bike, look wherever you want the bike to go. Driving is like no different. So when I'm turning right, I'm gonna be looking at a 45-degree angle to my right over here. I still can see the front in front of my car, but I'm looking to the right because that's where I want the car to go. And as I make the turn and I turn onto the street, I'm gonna slowly adjust my head back center as I turn onto that street. So let's say I'm turning. You know, I turn the wheel, I'm turning onto the street, and as I release the wheel and I'm straightening the car out on the street, I follow with my head back center. So you gotta look in the direction of the turn, okay? Not all the way to the right or all the way to the left, at a 45 to the right or to the left. Basically in the direction of these windshield pillars that you see right here on either side. Number 6, making a major steering adjustment during the turn. That's a horrible technique. So when you're turning, we're not robots, right? So we don't know how to turn the wheel the exact precise specific amount and hold it there and release it throughout the turn. We turn it roughly where we think we have to turn it, and then we make what I like to call micro adjustments, which are these little tiny little movements as you're turning to perfect the curvature of that turn. Those are fine, but I'm talking about the mistake to avoid, the technique to avoid, is when you turn, you're like, oh wait, I turned too much. Doing anything major like this during a turn can be very disruptive and extremely dangerous. So practice enough so that you know how much to turn the wheel and just to make these little micro adjustments throughout the turn. It's just a matter of practice. That's literally all that it comes down to. Number 7, steering with one hand throughout the turn. Now, even I myself am guilty of this. And this is especially something that you can be guilty of when you're driving a manual car. Because, you know, you're turning and you're shifting as you're changing gears. You're not going to put your hand back up there. You should. You know, you should be like this, and then you're making your turn, shift gears, and your hand should go back on the wheel, right? But even I myself steer with one hand throughout a turn, but the truth is that it's a technique that should be avoided. Now, I know, yes, I've been driving for more than 15 years, and many people that are experienced can make a turn with one hand safely, but the fact of the matter is that with two hands on the wheel, you have more control than with one hand on the wheel. So with that being said, it's just something that you should avoid, myself included in that. I'm guilty of that as well. That's it. Those are 7 bad turning techniques to avoid while driving. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.